So have you ever dialed in that perfect tone at home? You've got it sounding fat, you've got it sounding all saturated and awesome, but then you go play in a live band and your guitar just disappears. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you why that happens, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about musicianship in general when it comes to gigging. Being able to sit in the band mix is really, really important as a guitarist. That's just what sets you apart from the amateurs. But to do that, you have to know how to work with the gear that you have instead of just chasing gear. See, when we get stuck and we don't fit in the band mix and it doesn't sound good to us, we just go on Sweetwater or Amazon or whatever, and we're just buying new gear. And sometimes new gear is really not the solution. And I'm not against new gear. I love buying new gear. I'm just like every one of you out there. I love the new gadgets and the new instruments and the new experiences because they're really what are part of the journey as a musician. But when it comes to getting lost in the mix, this is more about how to work with the gear and understanding where you fit in the mix. So let's talk about the biggest offenders. The first biggest offender is gain. See, gain sounds really good when we dial it up and we're saturated and we're sitting at home and it's just this thick, awesome tone. The problem with gain is that it dulls the attack and it kills clarity. So when you're playing in a band situation, in context with the band, your gain is actually working against you in terms of clarity. Now, if you're playing rhythm, sure, I understand. The gain is great. You can play a rhythm part and you're sitting in that mix really nicely. But if you want to get to your lead part, sometimes the gain is working against you. It's muddy, it's dull, it doesn't have that clarity and definition, articulation in the notes. The second big offender is bass and low mids. See, on our amps and our devices, we love low end as guitarists. It just makes it feel fuller, especially when you're playing at home. If you've got a bunch of things that you're playing, you set up your tone, you start playing, and it just sounds great. You've got that bass rolled up, you got your mids and your treble wherever you have them. It's just sounds great, and you got that gain up. The problem is that the bass coming from your guitar is going to get completely overshadowed by the bass, the actual bass player, and the kick from the drums. Those are going through the subs, and they definitely have way more low end than what you could ever produce yourself. And also, you don't want to be sitting there. That's their frequency. That's their place to live. That's their home. You have a home, and that home is in the mids. So in that take, you can hear that I was really struggling when the band started picking up to really cut through and play that lead part. See, it's okay to have the gain and to have the mid scooped and the bass up, although I wouldn't really do the bass up, but have the gain up and the mid scoop would be fine for rhythm because you're just filling up that band sound. But the problem is when you get to the lead parts, you want to cut through. So here I'm going to show you how the adjusted lower gain, higher mids, lower bass sounds, and let's see the difference. So you can clearly see the difference there. This time I'm really cutting through the mix. You can hear the lead parts, the guitar tone sounds great, and it feels great to play because I can hear myself. I'm not overplaying, I'm not over digging into the strings. And the big difference is that it sounds bigger than it should. The gain is rolled down, the bass is rolled down, so it shouldn't sound fat. But to my ear, it sounds much more clear and that gives that illusion that it's a fatter tone. Being a gig-ready guitarist in the real world is really about knowing your gear. Yes, it's about being a good player, but there's players of all different levels. And being a gig musician, you'll realize, if you aren't playing gigs yet and you want to, you'll realize that all of us musicians on the stage, we just want to play with people we like. So if you're not the best musician out there, but you're a solid musician, you do your homework, you show up on time, you have a good control of your gear, you don't do anything offensive on the stage, that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for people we like that we can play music with. And the best way to get yourself chosen for gigs and called back for gigs is really to know how to sit in the mix. It's how to sit in the band, how to give people their space, how to take your space, and how to really make everything work together. If you do this, you're going to get more gigs. You're going to be preferred amongst other players. It's more than just having the chops to play every single thing. I know I don't, but I get called to play because I can hold my own in a band, and I can if I need to play rhythm, I'm going to play rhythm, and I'm going to play rhythm the way the band needs that rhythm to be played, not the way that I just think that it should sound. It's got to fit with the band. But most importantly, you don't want to get lost in the mix, because getting lost in the mix is frustrating, and the band also, they want to hear what you're playing, right? They want to hear you. So when you're playing that lead, they want to hear you play that lead. They don't want it to sound anemic and weak. But when you cut through with the mids, you roll off that gain, you're going to find yourself in a much better position to be articulate in your playing, and then you'll be off to the races, as they say. So that's what it is. I think that hopefully that's been helpful to you. Sharing my experiences playing live and all that, that's just a joy to me, and hopefully it's something that helps you as well. So check out in the next video my next little insight for you, and stick around. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you in many more videos.